Hey, what's up? We're busy having a discussion about makeup here, and this is a continuation because I don't want my pods to be too long. I was saying I don't trust makeup. I don't believe in it because I feel like makeup is like the canola oil of the 80s. I feel like makeup is like the sun of the 90s. I feel like makeup is the cigarettes of the 60s or the 30s, where it was yet to be discovered that these things can cause cancer. So for those reasons I don't wear it, because I believe that makeup ages women prematurely. And I spoke about how the reason why this is for me a thing that I imagine is a worthwhile suspicion to have is because I made an observation in what would be the tantamount of a longitudinal study, because I watched my mom with my friends, not my friends, sorry, her friends, from the time they were youthful, around my age, to pretty much what it is that they are today, and the level of aging that they have endured because having worn makeup all their lives in comparison to my mom is so observably stark, and also kind of shameful given that my mom is sometimes a good 10 to 15 years older than her friends, because she went to university 10 to 15 years after them, and that's where she met them, and they've aged worse than her. Some of them have even changed skin color altogether, in that she was a yellow bone as a kid and now she's all dark on the face, but the rest of her face is yellow bone because the face was the only one that was being subjugated to makeup. I was having that discussion, and then I was also going on right ahead to explain that there is something suspicious about the fact that it comes highly recommended that makeup should not be worn when you sleep. It also comes highly recommended by some people who are struggling with acne to stop wearing makeup. And so what is it about makeup that does that to the skin? And yes, while I understand that there is makeup that has been manufactured that is non-comedogenic, at the end of the day, we need to understand that big pharma, big business at all, big brands, big whatever, there's just like this nefarious profiteering mindset that they have sometimes that is at the expense of people. And indeed, there is a study that has been done in the food industry that proves that even the foods, like this trans fat movement that started very recently, where we discovered that some of the fats that we were eating are actually causing heart disease and strokes and all that jazz, that information was already made available literally all the way back in the 80s, but it was squelched, smothered, and stymied by big business who was trying to still make a profit. So they bought over the Heart Foundation, they bought over the scientists to basically say that, hey, continue to eat this greasy stuff, continue to eat this particular seed oil that frankly should be poisonous, but we've highly refined it to take out its poisons, and that's why you're now consuming it. Yeah, so it's really important to find out what in the world it is that you're putting on your face, what it is that you're putting inside your body. So if they could lie back then about food, things that you bring into your body, how much more easy then is it to lie about something that goes on your face? So makeup is a very highly lucrative industry. It is like a multi-billion-dollar, if not gazillion-dollar industry across the earth, and it's making people a whole bunch of money. There is no incentive, that's what you guys need to understand, for big business in this regard to admit that this stuff is aging of women. And another observation that I have, not women, but anyone that wears it these days, it's also these males, like proper people are like mixing genders. That's what's good. But another thing that enabled me to also happen upon an observation of this nature is dermatologists themselves. I have noticed, okay, that they don't wear makeup on their channels if they don't have to. They don't wear makeup, guys. Like, it's weird for me that they can like speak of a proliferation of makeup. Like estheticians wear makeup, but dermatologists don't. Now, estheticians are beauty consultants that have a wealth of knowledge on skincare and skincare products and all that stuff, but they have not gone to med school. They have not gone to medical school. Do you understand? So they don't know how the human body works. They don't do as rigorously peer review studies. They don't do the kind of research that doctors do. Dermatologists have to go to med school, so they know a lot more. And I have noticed, I have happened upon the reality that really good, excellent dermatologists rock up barefaced on Facebook, but they're not Facebook, YouTube, when they do their videos, and you won't really understand what's going on there. Maybe it's because their skin is so beautiful, so perfect, that they don't have to wear makeup, but they come naked faced. And I know of what I can explain or give you one that I frankly personally very much respect. Her name is Dr. Dre. She every so often will come wearing makeup, maybe like once in a blue moon, but for the better part of the time she does her videos barefaced. She does everything barefaced. She is not even interested in wearing makeup for her YouTube channel. She's not even interested in that. Maybe it's because for her to be barefaced is for her to be convincing that she's really good at skincare, but there's just too many of these dermatologists that will not wear makeup. They will not wear it. And for me, it's like, I feel as if they're keeping quiet about something that if they start to expose, they might just get ostracized by their industry, because of the fact that they won't get pushed anymore by brands. They won't get recommended anymore by brands. I don't know, like, how can I describe this? It's like right now, climate change, when it comes to meteorologists, if you don't agree that climate change is a thing, you can forget about having a strong career as a meteorologist. If you try and debunk it with however manner of strong data that you can provide to prove your particular vantage point, because you're not going with the narrative, they're not going to proliferate your agenda. So I just feel as if though a lot of doctors out here in these streets are refusing to basically call makeup art for what it is, precisely because it's just a very career taxing and suicidal for their careers, indeed, for their to admit that makeup is frankly destructive in the long run. Like Maybelline is not going to want to work with them, L'Oreal is not going to want to work with them, high-end makeup brands are not going to want to work with them, because many of these brands not only sell makeup, but they also sell other products like retinol, like tretinoin, like they're not tretinoin, and that would be within big pharma. They also sell other it would be big pharma because it's actually medication, whereas retinol is more cosmetic than it is medication. But yeah, they also sell other products that dermatologists highly recommend, do you understand, that are on the shelf over the counter. So if you are a makeup brand that also sells like skincare actives, you are not going to want to work with a doctor that's anti-makeup. So in order to push their they basically like wealth, they're trying to push their money, they're trying to push their own livelihoods and lifestyles and not to be disreputed in the industry. They're not calling it out for what it is, but you kind of pick it up if you're very observant and perceptive in how it is that they also rock up for the better part of the time just barefaced. There is another like black doctor in the US, she's a dermatologist. I follow her stuff, I forget her name. Beautiful skin, absolutely gorgeous skin. She's 40, like really enviable, gotta adore that lady, right? She's also another dermatologist that does not wear makeup mostly. For the better part, you're not gonna see her wearing makeup. It's like there's something they know, but they're not speaking out against it because it might be career suicide to do so. So now that I've spoken that about makeup, this whole piece is not even about makeup, but I'm just saying that I've made an observation in my own family, my own mom and her friends, longitudinally, what makeup does for the face. I also have a cousin that's been hoeing that stuff on her face since she was a teenager. She was born in 1982. She's my older sister's age, right? My older sister was born in 82. No, this cousin of mine was born in 1980. My older sister is 1982. I'm 1984. But this cousin of mine, ever since she was a teenager, she's been really experimental with makeup, just throwing it on her face, and she's still doing it to this day, you know, every so often hooking up a little bit of eyeliner and what have you. And how much this cousin of mine has aged facially, you know, I mean, she's also quite a big woman. Age can make a woman look older, but I'm speaking fine lines, wrinkles, texture, pores, and all that jazz. This girl, this woman, this female, this cousin of mine that's our peer, she's my older sister's peer, she's closer to age with my sister, she is looking very aged, extremely aged. And if you look at her next to my older sister, who is quite skinny, so for those reasons her youthful appearance aids in this conquest, do you understand? Nonetheless, we are looking now at the actual texture of the face, right? The youth of a person's face, don't so much gauge it from how fat it is, because fat can make a person look older, but from just the texture of it, the pores, the lines, the wrinkles. And my older sister just very frankly does not have them. And my older sister doesn't touch makeup, doesn't, like, you will never see her. Like, there was a time when I was trying to get her to wear eyeliner and mascara, she was like not even interested in that. So frankly, I used to wear more makeup than my older sister, and she was not interested because she's just never been that girl. Do you understand what I'm saying? I, however, have got a little sister that's only 22 years old that adores these face beats, and she's been getting all up in that business ever since she was a teenager. Because of her matric dance, she got intrigued by makeup, and she's never stopped ever since. And I'm concerned that, you know, nobody's telling her that, girl, you're gonna age prematurely. That's what's good. Like, you're gonna age your face. And because she doesn't listen to me, you know, there nobody out here in these streets try to help a girl out and what have you. It's not just the observation of older women like my mom that I have seen over the course of their lives literally have different results when one doesn't wear makeup and the other doesn't. I've also seen it in my peers who started wearing makeup just after high school, and how now that they're 40, 41, 42, they look so much older than everybody else around them that never wore it. Okay, and mind you, this is the black community, so don't nobody be trying to wear sunscreen. I don't know anyone that was wearing sunscreen when I was on the come up. So whatever it is that the sun might have done to age them, everybody has gone through the same thing. This is an equal experiment, not so much in a vacuum, but nonetheless these things else that are factors are equal. However, irrespective of that, because of that, I am able, I imagine, to draw sound inferences or sound conclusions about what makeup does. I believe it is the canola oil of the 80s. Like I said, I believe it's the sun of the 90s. It is this thing that has not been thoroughly researched as to the long-term effects of until later on. Everybody's now coming out with like, you know, flags raised that are red on some. Be careful of makeup, only wear it 2 or 3 times a week, or only wear it, you know, just on special occasions. I have a feeling that thanks to even the innovation of filters and Photoshop, that even news anchors and like people whose jobs are basically TV, they're gonna have an option to not wear makeup because it would ultimately get proven to be quite devastatingly aging. But because it is aging of people, but not so much cancerous, it's not carcinogenic, I don't even think that they're gonna feel a need to push it. The only reason why the whole issue with the sun came out was because of skin cancer, was because of photo aging ridiculously prematurely, because of the lesions that, like, yes, cancer, I believe, was the main reason why the sun was exposed for what it was. I also believe that the main reason why certain foods were exposed for what they were is because of heart disease. So if it's life-threatening, they'll come out with it. But if it's not life-threatening, if all you get is a chubaba, if all you get is just, you know, more aged skin, if all you get is being a little bit more mature looking than your best friend, then, I mean, who cares, right? So I don't even think they're going to come out with it. But if at all somebody decides to be mature enough to speak about it, I imagine the future is such that even anchors, news anchors, TV personalities, movie stars are going to want the option to have makeup applied on them using software, using filters and whatnot, instead of them actually putting makeup on their faces, because of how long term these like makeup actually just kind of like decimates them, guys. Anyway, that's my theory for now, and even though it's wrong, it doesn't matter. It doesn't harm anybody for them to take my advice or lack thereof, other than aging prematurely. But I have made a decision, not personally, that I don't want makeup, other than the only makeup that I would rock on my face would be like an eyeliner, or basically something that doesn't cover my entire face. It doesn't just, like, you know, consume my pores. That I don't want, because I feel like that's what's super dangerous. So maybe like eyeshadow, eyeliner, you can do that, lipstick, blush, but everything else, like foundation, and then the makeups are these days, the makeup processes of these days are not as simple as in the 80s or whatever, guys. It's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and nobody understands when did makeup get that complicated. Like, literally nobody. I believe Kim Kardashian ruined it for everybody with all of her contouring and putting different levels of amounts of thicknesses of powder underneath before you can finally put the final powder on top. So in order to contour your face, you then have to put all these layers. What in the world is that doing to you in the long run? It might serve to be perhaps some kind of like UV protection, skin protection, but you got sunscreen for that, girl? Like, really? You guys are like, just spray some sunscreen on and you're good to go. Why under heaven are you putting layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers? You get my point. Anyway, this is not to rant about makeup. This is just to make it clear that I've made observations, so I'm not pro makeup for those reasons. This is what it is that I'm ultimately heading to the point of knocking into the coffin concerning. I love makeup. I love how it looks. I love what it does for a woman. It refines them so much. It makes them look so sophisticated, for crying out loud. I sometimes see women with their face beads and they just look so refined. They look so poised and so postured. It's gorgeous. And they also look like they smell so good, right? Women who wear makeup just look so well put together. Like, I kid you not, I've always loved it for those reasons, but I've always been suspicious of it. So for me, it has always just been all about having really clear, beautiful skin. And when then your skin is clear, just put like enough, right? Maybe you can wear your falsies. I don't think they're going to destroy your life in any way. Put some eyelashes on, you know, some mascara, some blush, and some lipstick. Maybe even darken your eyebrows, but do not put all these other powders on your face. Then you can have somewhat of a refined look when you go out there in public, but without decimating your skin microbiome and everything else that can really cause a whole bunch of havoc on your face. Like, I don't know what in the world just closing up your pores could do, guys. Our pores are supposed to breathe. Like, that's what's good. Anyway, whatever. Cool beans and banana. So because of my feelings, my sentiments towards believing that makeup is like the canola oil of the 80s, that ultimately is discovered to be a trans fat that can give you heart disease later on, because of my belief, I'm avoidant of it. But in spite of being avoidant of it, I think it's so pretty. I like it. I like how it looks on these females. They be looking all gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a work of art what makeup can do for a person as appearance on the outside. But we also live in a technological age where there are so many filters, where there are so many applications, and frankly, for the life of me, I discovered one just a couple of days ago that can also put makeup on. And when that happened, I was like, eureka. I literally felt like I was Archimedes who had happened upon some kind of a discovery out here in these streets. Guys, I was like, I love makeup and I do videos. I wish I could do a face beat where, oh my, look at Carol, looks so pretty now that she's got makeup on. I've always wanted to wear makeup, but I don't trust it because I don't want to age like a sour grape. I don't want to age like a prune. I do not want to age like sour milk. I really do not want to age kabuhlungu, especially considering black is on my side. My mom and her friends are all black, yet black was not on their side when makeup came to pass. You can see it in these ladies in the entertainment industry that have bleached their face and also that have been wearing makeup since the beginning of time. Yes, guys, there are people whose skin is super resilient, and on top of that, do not make a mistake in thinking that those who appear unaged, these celebrities, are basically immune to the effects of makeup. You must understand the technology that is available medically to eradicate signs of aging are astronomical. First of all, there is Botox, okay? There are fillers, all right? That's the one thing that celebrities are out in these streets doing, filling out their face, making sure that the youthful appearance is not sinking or sagging anymore. And then there are these miracle actives that do such an excellent job on the skin, that are so well researched, reviewed, and have got such a beautiful power to not only turn over cells but reverse the signs of aging. There are people who, upon being put on tretinoin, for instance, look better in their 40s than they did in their 20s. So just because a product can basically make like R. Kelly and turn back the hands of time doesn't mean you should then do something that could like kind of cancel out, or to a certain extent, to a certain percentage, cancel out the effects of what it is that you are using. So things like, okay, adapalene is not proven to, it's not necessarily so heavily studied in order to deal with anti-aging, but there are some people who swear that it has done that for them. Things like retinol, things like tretinoin, which is like a high impact gold standard for anti-aging, things like bakuchiol, however you pronounce that thing. You get my point. All of these anti-aging advancements that have been made that are really helping women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s share glorious stories of looking like they're in their 30s despite having worn makeup since they were 20 years old. What I'm saying is, do not merely gaze upon them looking so excellent as at the ages that they're at and imagine that makeup has no negative effect on a person. At the end of the day, when there is a medicine that you are using to eradicate aging, when there is some cosmetic procedure that you are doing, like Botox injections like fillers, when you are doing that next to makeup, it is impossible to therefore isolate in a study the true effect of makeup in the long run, because these products are that good. The tretinoin is that good at eradicating signs of aging. So what you're looking at, for instance, in faces of women like Connie Ferguson, is likely somebody who has hooked up fillers quite a lot, or Botox in their 11s. She's also got black skin and black don't crack, but she is also likely has been put by a dermatologist on something like tretinoin to keep her pores tight and snug. So she looks good despite wearing a whole bunch of makeup. But I beseech you, I implore you, if it was even possible, to grab Connie Ferguson when she was 20 and tell her don't wear makeup until you're 50 and still do all these procedures, and I imagine that she would likely look even better than she does today. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to use anything at all on my face that is going to expedite my aging, even if I've got access to the baddest dermatologist in the game and the baddest plastic surgeon. And I would imagine that I think I am the gold standard, frankly, of that. I don't wear makeup. I haven't worn it for like a minute. I also don't use sunscreen. And look at me at 39. Yes, I am a black woman. Melanin enables. Black don't crack. But I'm also very stressed out. I have a very high high cortisol amount in my body. I've got a very terrible life. I should have by now been, revealed or shown some kind of evidence of signs of aging on my face, and yet none. Like literally, it's absent. I don't smoke. I quit smoking when I was like 24 or something, and then I gave my life to Christ. So I think godliness goes a long way to make a girl look good. Type it up thing. However, I don't even think I'm really that good an example to use. Perhaps maybe when I turn 58, you might then be able to look back and see the difference, because indeed I do intend, if the Lord does not rapture the church, which I doubt, I do intend to go to a dermatologist to help me out with anti-aging. I do intend to get that dermatologist to get me on tretinoin, since I can get it for myself. I do intend to basically just circumvent issues, but I imagine that I would be a nice controlled study to show the difference between a woman that is placed on tretinoin from the age of 40, let's say 40, from the age of 40, right? Starting tretinoin at the age of 40 and then checking out what they're doing at 58, having never worn makeup, and see the difference between me and someone that also has been on tretinoin from the age of 40, worn makeup the entire time, if there is no difference. And it would have to be a black woman with similar genes to me for you to be able to gauge really truly if at all I'm making sense. But I'm not out here trying to debunk makeup. I just don't believe in it. So when I found these applications, then this is what I'm getting to, right? When I found these applications, for me it was like, I get to do what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have a refined, beautiful, made up face, but I don't trust makeup for the life of me. I'm not one of those Christian women that are going to go tell you makeup is going to send you to the pit of hell. I don't believe that, but I do believe it is aging women, and there are ramifications that are unfelt and unseen. And I feel sorry for those that are in the entertainment industry, because they gotta put it on for their jobs. But there are filters on earth right now that can put an entire face beat on a woman in just a matter of a click, in just a second. They can put a face beat on a woman with just pressing something on a filter. And so for those reasons, ain't no need for you to go on right ahead and make yourself age at a super record speed just so you can impress people out there. And another thing about the makeup of filters, not of filters, but the makeup, the real makeup, like when you apply makeup on your face, it looks really good with like a ring light. It looks really good with lighting in front of a camera, guys. But when you go out there, you will always look cakey. You will always look all made up, guys. You always don't look as good with it out there in the world, especially if you've got some acne underneath there. However, when you put blush on top of clean face and lipstick and some eyeliner, mascara, you look glowy, you radiate, you don't look powdery. So it's even better on clear skin. If you can clear your skin, it's even better when you go out there putting a minimal amount of makeup, because it looks terrible in natural lighting in a way that it looks excellent, glorious when you do a YouTube video. And I know that this is true because there's this woman, I absolutely adore her, the Lord bless her soul, that does videos just giving women really excellent counsel. She's in her 50s now. She used to be a model. Her name is Fumi Desa World or whatever. That's what she does, right? Fumi looks really great, like in front of her ring light. But there was a video that she did where she was showing us how to walk in heels and whatnot, women, right? And she went outside in natural lighting and she looked powdery on her face. Had the makeup that looked so glowy, so dewy in front of a ring light. Now all of a sudden she looked like a ghost when she was outside. I was like, that's the problem with makeup. That's the issue. It looks good in front of cameras, but it looks terrible out there. So if you want to continue to look great out there, just leave your skin looking dewy, like the sun has like just landed on it iridescently, with just some blush, some eyeliner. And then if you want to do like a whole full face beat look for the cameras, just hook up a makeup filter that comes with a video recorder. And I'm about to show you what I discovered recently that has been a blessing from God in order to enable me to have a more refined look, that I might get taken seriously by more people, that I might ultimately get out of this environment, because unfortunately pretty privilege is still a thing on this side of the rapture. And in the absence of me capitalizing on mine, I'm gonna find myself stranded in these horrific environments. I gotta look like a Barbie doll apparently in order for people to diss me or like me, but nonetheless they're looking at me. Next part.